Lo que sí tiene que tener claro todo el mundo es que cortar una vida es cortar la oportunidad de dar y recibir algo muy bueno.
El hecho de poder hacer algo por una persona indefensa es un sentimiento inexplicable.
Ahora está muy de moda el decir, es que mi cuerpo es mío. Bueno, tu cuerpo es tuyo, pero lo que llevas dentro no es tuyo.
Soy Hannah, y esta es mi historia. Y no es lo que crees.
I'm adopted, and my biological mother was 17, and so was my biological father. She was 7.5 months pregnant when she decided to go to Planned Parenthood, which is the largest abortion provider in the world, and they counseled her to have a late-term saline abortion, which is a saline salt solution that is injected into the mother's womb. The baby gulps that solution, it burns the baby inside and out, and then she is to deliver a dead baby within 24 hours. And to everyone's great shock and surprise, I didn't arrive dead but alive on April the 6th, 1977 in a Los Angeles County abortion clinic. What's fantastic about this, about the perfect timing of my arrival, is that the abortionist was not on duty yet.
Hace 3 semanas descubrí que mi vida era una mentira.
Naciste de forma muy prematura, 24 semanas.
Recuerdo la primera vez que la tuve entre mis brazos, pensé, ¿cómo puede algo tan pequeño tener un poder tan grande sobre mí?
¿Me estás ocultando algo, papá?
Hannah, no somos tus padres biológicos.
Placed in an emergency foster care home, where they decided they didn't like me very well, and as I'm fond of saying, I don't know how you could not adore me right from the start. What is wrong with these people? But they didn't. You see, I've been hated since conception. By so many, and loved by so many more, but most especially by God. I'm his girl. You don't mess with God's girl. I got a sign on my forehead that says, you better be nice to me because my father runs the world. So after I was placed in the mean home, I was taken out of the mean home and placed into another home, a beautiful home, Penny's home. And she said by this time I was 17 months old, 32 pounds of dead weight, and diagnosed with what I considered to be the gift of cerebral palsy, which was caused directly by the lack of oxygen to my brain while I was trying to survive. Now, I am just compelled to say this. If abortion is merely about women's rights, ladies and gentlemen, then what were mine? There was not a radical feminist standing up and yelling about how my rights were being violated that day. In fact, my life was being snuffed out in the name of women's rights. And ladies and gentlemen, I would not have cerebral palsy had I not survived all of this. So when I hear the appalling, disgusting argument that we should have abortions because the child just might be disabled, oh, the horror that fills my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, there are things that you will only be able to learn by the weakest among us. And when you snuff them out, you are the one that loses. The Lord looks after them, but you are the one that will suffer forever. And what arrogance, what absolute arrogance, and it has been an argument for so long in this human place that we live, that the stronger should dominate the weaker, should determine who lives or dies. The arrogance of that. Don't you realize that you cannot make your own heart beat? Don't you realize that all the power that you think you possess, you really possess none of it? It is the mercy of God that sustains you, even when you hate him. So they looked at my dear Penny and they said, Gianna will never be anything, which is always encouraging. And she decided to ignore them, and she worked with me 3 times a day, and I began to hold up my head, and they said, well, Gianna will never this and never that. Long story shorter, I was walking by the age of 3.5 with a walker and leg braces, and I stand up here today with a mild little limp and without a walker and leg braces. I fall gracefully sometimes and very ungracefully at other times, depending on the situation, but I consider it all for the glory of God.
No tienes ni idea de lo duro que es. No puedes entenderlo hasta que no tengas una hija, así que no te entrometas. Naciste prematura porque sobreviviste a un aborto fallido.
Ha sido nuestro milagro. Por eso es tan difícil dejarte ir.
La verdad es que me emocioné mucho identificándome con el padre de la protagonista.
A mí me hizo sentir muy unida a ese padre y muy cerca de ese padre porque nosotros hemos vivido algo muy parecido.
Tenía la impresión de que mi padre como que me sobreprotegía, que no me dejaba crecer, que no me dejaba ser yo misma. Y cuando vi la película, llamé a mi padre llorando para darle las gracias, porque me di cuenta de que mi padre me seguía viendo como ese bebé de 23 semanas y con 900 gramos que había tenido ahí en la mano. Solo tenemos una oportunidad y hay que aprovecharla al máximo.
As I've already said, after 18 hours, I should be blind, I should be burned, I should be dead. And yet I'm not. You know what is fantastic vindication is the fact that the abortionist had to sign my birth certificate. So I know who he is. And it also says, for any skeptic listening, on my medical records, born during saline abortion. Ha! They didn't win. I've done some research on the man that performed the abortion on me. And his clinics are the largest chain of clinics in the United States of America, and they gross $70 million a year. I read a quote from him at some point several years ago, and he said, I have aborted over 1 million babies, and I consider it my passion. I tell you these things because, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are in an interesting battle, whether we realize it or not, in this world. It is a battle between life and death. What side are you on?